Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I would do a quick touch-up video on the hallway that I just painted. And while I do the touch-ups, I'm going to be reading some more Reddit stories from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? Before we start, I do want to note that you can't really touch up most paints like how I'm going to do it in the video. You can only do it the way I'm doing it if the wall paint is flat. If there's any sheen at all, you'd have to paint the whole wall to touch it up correctly. So I did want to just point that out real quick because not all wall paint is flat. But yeah, let's get started in the stories. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my husband ate nearly half of my burger in one big bite after I offered him a taste of my food? A few years ago, my husband and I picked up some food for supper from a restaurant that was featured in one of those Food Network shows. The place was packed and there was a long line of people, so we decided to get a to-go order. My husband paid for the entire order. We get back to the hotel and start eating. As soon as I took the first bite of my burger, I proclaimed this was the best burger I've ever tasted. Since we had ordered 2 different items from the menu, he offered me a bite of his food. It was good, but I preferred mine. Then I offered him a bite of mine. I am not exaggerating when I say he took a third, close to half of my burger in one bite. As soon as he did this, I got upset. I asked him why he would eat such a huge portion of my burger when I only offered a bite. He said that he wanted to taste all the parts of the burger, and that's what his bites look like. He said that he did exactly what I told him to do, so he doesn't understand why I'm so upset. We posted on Reddit because we still argue about who was right and who was wrong. Okay, personally, if you eat half of someone's burger, I think you're definitely in the wrong. You're definitely the a-hole, especially if you don't think you did anything wrong. Like, he would prefer to have the perfect bite with, like, all the pieces of the burgers than to save her food and like to make sure she's not starving or something. And I think that's definitely a big red flag. I personally would want a whole nother burger because I don't like to be hungry after I eat. So yeah, to me she's definitely not the a-hole. I think the boyfriend absolutely is though, because that's just awful. Okay, so this next story is called Am I the a-hole for going home after my in-laws excluded me from dinner at a restaurant? I, female 26, went on a family trip with my in-laws 2 weeks ago. Mother-in-law always thought that I am a bit quote-unquote ignorant and backwards, and that just because I come from a lower-class family compared to hers that I have no etiquette. So after we arrived at the hotel, they arranged to visit a fancy restaurant for dinner. My husband avoided telling me this, and I learned it last minute after he had already gotten dressed. I asked where he was going, and he said he and his family were going to eat out, but I wasn't invited because his mom assumed that since I wouldn't be familiar with the food and how to eat it, that it's better for me to stay in and eat at the hotel. I didn't argue, I just let him go, and then I packed and took the first flight home. He freaked out and called many times, and when he found out that I went home, he blew up and called me ridiculous and irrational to do this. Even said I acted in an ungrateful manner and embarrassed him in front of his family after he literally begged to have me go on the trip. We argued and he started giving me the silent treatment after he came home. Moreover, his family is indirectly criticizing me on Facebook about what I did. Did I overreact? Edit 1, he didn't even mention what type of food they ordered. Edit 2, the family didn't plan on having me come along on this trip, but my husband said he begged them to invite me. This isn't just with me, but my brother-in-law's girlfriend wasn't invited as well. Edit 3 is that they paid for my expenses, so I didn't want to act like I'm being needy or something. Yes, that's the whole post. Personally, the family is the a-hole and the husband. I think him thinking you're overreacting is kind of crazy because you didn't overreact, you just kind of left, which I think is probably the better thing to do in the situation, especially if you're really upset. I think the husband is the a-hole, and I think silent treatment is a form of abuse, and yeah, I'm concerned for her a little bit if that's how he acts and that's how the family treats her. So on to the third story. Am I the a-hole for ordering food to go when my friend group wanted to split the check evenly? This has been an ongoing issue. I have a friends group that likes to eat nicer food. Personally, for me, I'm fine getting something cheap on the menu. The issue is they always want to split the check. I've had the conversation so many times that I want to just pay for what I ordered, and it results in an argument where I have to bend or everyone is mad at me. I also make a lot more than my friends, so it always results in them basically calling me cheap. They don't understand that I want to pay for my meal and that's it. Anyways, we went out to eat yesterday and they all ordered things that were around $30. I got the house salad and my total was $12. They told the server to split the bill and I didn't want to fight about it again. So I asked the server to add on to the bill an entree and a dessert for me to take home. This resulted in my bill going up into the 30s. So they asked me what I was doing. I told them I'm getting more food. They got upset, saying that I increased the price I needed to pay. This resulted in another argument, and they think I'm a jerk. Edit. Reddit, I've done everything you have suggested. I've had the server take mine out, and I pay for it. I have spoken to them. If I do anything that isn't splitting the bill with them, they just get pissed. Okay, so that's the end of the post. Personally, I think this girl should probably get some new friends. It doesn't really sound like they respect her, and they kind of sound manipulative as hell too, especially if you try to talk to them and they just do not care about what you're saying or like how it affects you and stuff. Like they obviously don't care about you. I feel like they just care about, you being able to pitch in for their meals and stuff like that. That's what it sounds like to me. They don't seem very genuine. So I hope she gets new friends. Okay, so this next story is called, Am I the A-hole for silencing my girlfriend? I, male 28, have been dating my girlfriend, Nancy, female 25, for about 2 months now. We met on a blind date that our friend set us up on and have been seeing each other regularly since then. I'm not entirely sure if we're officially boyfriend-girlfriend, but Nancy seems to think so. Nancy describes herself as a bit of a mean girl. I honestly thought she was joking for a while, as she's typically quite nice. However, she has an awful tendency to insult people based on primarily their appearance. These insults can happen anywhere and anytime and can be targeted at literally anyone. Of course, she never says these things about the person right in front of them. The other day, I invited Nancy to a family friends event we were having. My family's friend, Sarah, had just gotten out of the hospital for cancer. Sarah's family and my family are very close. I've known them since I was born and consider them to be extended family. Due to cancer and chemotherapy, Sarah no longer has hair and is very thin. Once Nancy saw her, she started smirking. I literally pleaded with her not to say anything rude, and she agreed but told me that I was ruining her fun. Jesus. Fast forward, I'm chatting with my mother, female 55, and sister, female 24, when Nancy walks by and says hello. She chats for a bit before starting to make several highly offensive jokes about Sarah and her appearance. I will not repeat anything, but her jokes mainly pertain to baldness and anorexia. My mother and sister looked mortified, and so was I. I literally had my jaw hanging open for a good few seconds. Once I snapped out of it, I firmly told Nancy to stop and that no one found her sense of humor funny except for herself. She got upset and said that I was being controlling and misogynistic for trying to silence her. I maintained my position and reaffirmed that her comments were insane. She got even more upset and asked that we leave. She ended up leaving on her own. Am I the a-hole? Okay, obviously this guy is not the a-hole and this woman is absolutely nuts. But that's the end of the stories. I hope y'all enjoyed the video and I'll see y'all next Sunday. Thanks for watching.